Hi guys, Tab here. Hope you're all doing well. Very excited this week because of this here. Look at that. Yeah, you know the channel, you know I love Renault 5 GT turbos, and this one here has to be one of the best I've ever seen in my life, if not the best in the UK. Very fortunate today to be out having a look at this thing, courtesy of the owner, Nick. We're going to be looking around the car, going out for a drive in it, chatting with him on his ownership experience, all the things he's had done to it, and it's a lot because this thing is absolutely stunning. If you like Renault 5 GT turbos, you're in for an absolute treat on this one. The detail is beautiful, right down to having the original radio cassette player. What's a cassette, I hear you ask? Who knows? Some form of music, I think. But it's an absolutely stunning car, and these win a special place in many people's hearts, without a doubt. Are they reliable? Kind of. Are they comfortable? Not so. Are they quick by today's standards? No, not really, but they're just so much fun. And if you know with these cars. People that love them absolutely love them. So I'm really excited to be getting out for a drive in this thing. So let's go. We're out in the Renault 5. I'm going to take the shades off for this. It's not the brightest of day. So the first thing I notice about this Renault 5 is how solid it feels. So these cars are, if you know them, they kind of rattle and shake all over the place. Mine is terrible. It's like being in a washing machine, I'm not going to lie. This one, it feels good. It feels very good. So what have you done to this, Nick, to make it so good?
Well, as you say, they are bone shakers normally, and it does have the odd rattle here and there. You can't get away from that. It's thin gauge steel and it's 80s French, but actually, you know, changing things like the suspension, all the bushes, all the components, just trying to make it as tight as you possibly can, really gives you a good result. It
really feels tight. It really does. And it's got, you know, you're in a Renault 5, that idle as well, ever present. We've got to take a look at this, the engine bay of this fabulous Renault 5 GT Turbo. And I have to say, this is probably one of the most immaculate engine bays I've ever seen in one of these cars in my life. Look at it, just look at it. It is a work of art. So clean, even details like the coolant reservoir, which you can see over here if I can get my finger in shot. It's like new. Everything in here is absolutely like new. The routing of all the cabling is perfect. It's all OEM. We've got the original airbox there. Things like the battery cover. It is just an absolute work of art, and I would say probably better than when it rolled off the production line all those years ago. So if you had to be proud of any particular bit here, what would it be?
I think I'm proud of all of it, Tab, but for me it was just achieving that, as you say, that OE finish, how the car was when it rolled off the line in '89 in Dieppe. It was just rejuvenating that look, having everything correct in terms of zinc plating, everything in its right place, stickers in the right place, the correct hoses, and all the incremental pieces that make the sum total of a good finish.
And I noticed the coolant liquid is green there. Is that washing up liquid or Slimer juice or something bizarre in there?
It's not fairy. That's the correct Renault additive.
Nice, very good. And the engines are well renowned for being pretty stable, I guess, right? You know, as long as they're well looked after and they don't overheat, right? That's the key
exactly
thing.
That, and like anything, just make sure it's looked after correctly, regular oil changes with the correct grade oil. Allow the thing to warm up, and equally, it's really important when you finish running the car, let it cool down, let it run for a minute or two, and let it cool down.
Fantastic. So let's talk. How long have you had this car?
So I've had the car 3 years.
Okay.
So 2020 I bought it, and it's been a journey ever since.
And how many miles did it have on it when you got it?
63.
Okay, so not a lot. And you say the engine is still original and never been apart?
Original engine, never been apart. It's been tested with compression, absolutely spot on. So for me, if I didn't need to take it apart, I really didn't want to. So clean bill of health and pulls and runs perfectly well. Yeah,
it does seem to run very well. I've got a problem with mine. the fuel tank at the rear. You know, they get the weep of doom in the bung, right, which is a common problem on these.
do.
But mine is good. I fixed that one myself, but it seems to be, I think, if you overfill it a bit, there's fuel coming through the collar in the top around the tank a bit. And just moving around the car here, so the details of this car, absolutely wonderful. If you look under the arches here, it's just like new. You could lick that and get better, I think. And also a little comment on the tyres here. So I always thought the original tyres on these are, or should be, Uniroyal. But I'm reliably informed by Nick, that's not the case.
No, the cars were fitted with Michelin MXV at the time. Sadly, they're no longer available, but the next best thing is are these here, which are Michelin Pilot Sport, which is the correct size, 195/55/13.
Right.
Next best thing, so that's what I had fitted.
Fantastic, and of course disc brakes all round on these, and just like the details of the suspension in here, everything is just absolutely stunning. And exhaust though, that's not an original exhaust, right?
That's an OE exhaust.
Is this an OE
yes,
exhaust?
Yeah,
I thought that's kind of pointed down a bit, the ones that came out of the factory.
No, that's OE.
Wow,
I think
so
it's
OE
still got the
exhaust.
sticker on the back box underneath. It might be slightly singed, but yeah, it's
Wow,
absolutely a
I did
Renault.
not know that.
It's a Renault exhaust.
I always thought the original ones on these were sort of drain pipey things, but it might have been they were replaced with what was available
Correct.
back in the day.
That's
right?
exactly it.
In terms of things that have been done to this car, right? Pretty much everything has been done. What would you say has been the hardest part or the most stressful part in terms of the works that you had undertaken on this car?
I think it's all been a bit of a journey, really. Some parts are easier than others. They're quite basic with how they're put together. So
Yeah.
it's not a complicated car. So
Easy to work on, right?
So that's not a difficulty. I think it's just getting parts. The rear end is a faff. Doing the rear
Right.
beam axle, if you're going to change the bushes in it, that's a real faff.
Right.
There are 4 bars that connect at either end and then into a binocular joint in the middle. You have to get that absolutely perfect. If you don't, then the car's not going to be set up correctly. So
Right.
that's a faff, and you have to take it apart if you're to clean it properly and powder coat it.
Decals looking good, and it's a slight fade on this, you mentioned, right?
Yeah, so because it's a red car, it needs to contrast with the GT Turbo logo,
Yeah.
so that's in silver, and hence the decal on this is called black fade, so
Right.
that it contrasts with the red paint.
Absolutely lovely, but look at the paintwork, the finish. Oh, it's just so perfect, honestly. I would definitely say this is the best one in the country. So let's have a look at the inside, if we can, Nick, because this is where, again, this is literally another level. So in here, it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, if you can find Renault 5s today without tears and rips in the seats, saggy door cards, both front and rear, I think you're not going to be hard pushed to find a Renault 5 that is like that. But this car, I cannot see anything wrong with it at all. It's absolutely immaculate. If you look down here, details like around the speakers. Normally that corduroy fabric is kind of tearing away, but no, not in this case. Absolutely stunning. Anything that you want to change in here, or is it?
No, I'm pretty happy with it all. If you can
Yeah.
just excuse my overmats, which protect the original ones.
Yeah, and why not? Right?
But no, the interior is as it should be. It's got the correct radio cassette.
I was going to say an actual cassette in there, right?
all working.
You've not done this yourself, right? All of it yourself. Some of it you've done yourself, but
I've dipped in here and there,
Yeah.
but I've enlisted the help of some professional, well-known people to get the car to where you see it today.
and I think that's the key point, isn't it? If you get hold of that knowledge, you know, that fountain of knowledge with these cars, then you're on to a winner, because as time moves on, less of these on the road. Imagine rocking up to a Renault main dealer these days with one of these and saying, I've got an issue with the car. They're going to look at you in a very strange way, aren't
Most technicians at Renault wouldn't know what one was.
they? Yeah, I think you're right. So what is it about Renault 5s for you? Why Renault 5 GT Turbo?
Well, I'm old enough to remember them the first time around, and I had one back in the early 90s, absolutely loved it. I had a tungsten grey car. I actually sold my 1.9205 GTI to get it because I just felt it was just more exotic. Right. It was just out the two for me personally, both great cars, but for me the Renault just had the edge. It was just that iconic car, the turbo. Just gave the car such great drivability, such great mid-range punch in comparison to the 205, and it was the one for me.
So they're 1.4 turbocharged cars, 120 brake horsepower-ish, there or thereabouts. So you could say by today's standards, right, that's not a lot of horsepower, but when you consider this weighs 800 kilos, it's a lot in terms of power to weight ratio. And in the day, there was not a lot of things that kept up with these. These things could really go, and of course they were very heavily tuned, these things, all the time, and that was one of the key problems with these cars, is they were fettled with, you know, over boosted and broken and damaged, not looked after, rusted away. I think you can safely say that this one has been absolutely treasured, and sitting in it is honestly a total joy. If you like these cars, it takes me right back to the days when they were on the road originally and in wonderful condition.
And the steering wheel I have had refurbished, so that's got the correct satin finish in the centre section with the Renault Sport leather, which I've had restored, and a old stock gear knob as well.
Excellent. Absolutely
along
stunning.
with the dials, which have been replaced as well, so they're nice and bright and red and not sort of sun faded and yellowy like often they go.
Yeah, they look amazing. Absolutely stunning. Fantastic, what a job, what a job. So what do you think the future holds for this car for you? Is there any more that you're going to be doing to it, do you think?
There's a few small jobs I'm going to do, Tab. As we discussed earlier, there's the actuator on the turbo that I want to replace and get that changed. I'm fortunate enough to have a nice OE part to replace there. Other than that, we're pretty much done. It's kind of the end of the journey in terms of the restoration, which is brilliant. I'm now going to be bored because it's finished and not stressed out trying to find parts, but it's just a question of, I guess, enjoying it and just looking after the car going forwards.
Oh, fantastic. So are you going to keep this? Do you think you're going to hold on to it? Because I don't think, if I had this, I think somebody would have to kill me to take it off me. I really do. It's so good.
It's an interesting point, and look, I've got no plans to sell the car, but at the same time, I'm very aware that the car has a sweet spot, and in my view, I think that's around about now, actually.
Right.
And by that, what I mean is that the people that remember these, that are interested in and that care about them, that, you know, they're I don't know, middle-aged guys. That time will come and go, and that's partly the reason why you're seeing classic cars like E-Type Jaguars going down in value. Not a lot, but they are going down because there's less of an audience. Yeah,
less of an audience, and I think the whole car industry at the moment is struggling a little bit. Used cars. I mean, we had this huge bubble during the pandemic, which just sent everything north, far where it should be. And I don't think these things ever did. But you know, you had the likes of Cosworths, for example, that were going for ridiculous money. You've seen Skyline GTRs now that go for bonkers money. And these still have, I think they still need their moment, as you say, right, to really come up in value and really pop. You know, in terms of values for these things, I mean, 15k is probably going to get you an average to decent one these days, maybe. I think
a decent example for 15.
And then, you know, when you start to go towards concourse, you see them for 25. I think this is going to fetch. This could fetch way more than that. Just the condition of it. But who knows? You know, it depends what somebody's prepared to pay. I would. Yeah, absolutely. I'd be very comfortable saying this is worth a serious bit of cash in this condition with this mileage on it. So, in terms of attention, what kind of attention do you get with it?
Listen, I don't need to tell you. Anybody that drives one of these cars knows that you've only got to stop at a petrol station, and people want to come and talk to you, and they'll tell you about how they remember the car. And I think for me, whilst a lot of people will tell you they had a car, the bit that really interests me, that I really like, is that generally when people talk about the car, they talk about the car with a story. There's a story attached to the car. There's nostalgia, there's an experience, there's a road trip, there's something. And that's the bit for me today in modern cars. While they're way more advanced and they're better than they've ever been, obviously, they don't evoke that same feeling, that there's no story attached to them.
Yeah.
That seems to be something that's lost in time.
Yeah, a great point. And we both drive EVs as well, right? And you just don't have that feeling, that fun factor. I mean, they're great cars. You can't deny the engineering's brilliant, but they just lack that feeling in your heart that something like this gives you in such great volume. It's absolutely wonderful. So would you say that the Renault 5 GT Turbo takes the title of the best turbocharged car ever made?
Well, there's an interesting point you make there. I'm sure many would disagree. I think it's up there somewhere, and as you alluded to earlier, it's not the fastest car in the world. But it doesn't just mean that if you don't have the performance, it doesn't make it a good car. It's all about that feeling you get, the drivability, and these things have got that in bucket loads.
So it just had a little bit of a boost there, as it's known in these cars. Honestly, it's so tight. It is so. I'm actually quite worried about mine now. Is mine going to fall apart? It's so tight, so well put together, and just feels surprisingly solid. Nice smooth gear changes. Oh, it's brilliant. You've done an excellent job of this, I've got to say.
Thanks so much.
Well, it's been a pleasure. I've really enjoyed this. I really appreciate your time, Nick. It's been great. Do look after it. You might have to let it go one day, but if you do, enjoy it before then, please, and really appreciate your time, mate.
Thanks so much.